What is happening to the Brampton real estate market? We just got the January update of the market information, and I'm about to break it down for you. We're hearing from everywhere that we're up in sales by 37%, and I want to make sure that you have all the information so you can be informed when it comes to jumping into the real estate market, because it sounds like the market is taking off, but I really want to break it down for you. By the way, my name is Zamira Dunnet, and I'm a local real estate agent right here in the GTA, and I'm with EXP Realty. And if you have any questions about the Brampton real estate market or any other city right here in the GTA, please go ahead and reach out. My contact information is right there in the description. You can reach out to me at any time. You can also book an appointment on my calendar app right here, and that will be able to book an appointment with me so we can go over everything that is happening. So let's jump right into it. So our average home price in Brampton, Ontario for the month of January was $982,514. That was only a 0.46% decrease since December of 2023 and a 1.07% decrease since January of 2023. So we haven't gone down a lot in the past little while. We had 395 sold homes in the month of January. We had 634 new listings. If you remember last month, that was a lot more. And I'm about to show you a chart that breaks that down as well. And we only had 664 active listings left at the end of the month. Now, everyone's talking about how sales are up, and they are from last year. They are 38% up from last year, January 2023. But active listings are only up by 0.91%. And this is my favorite part right here. How much is selling over asking? We had already gone down to 18% of properties selling over asking price in December, but that has changed, and I'm about to tell you about it at the end of this video. So if you look at how many sold properties we've had since February of 2023, we had hit a really low number, the lowest number we have had in December, which was 295. But that has come up by 100 additional properties have sold. We are at 395 properties sold in Brampton just in the month of January. And usually the winter months are a slower month. And you can see that throughout, that the summer did have a bit more sales in the year of 2023. But we've picked up a little bit right here, as you can tell, in the month of January. So I said there were 664 active listings left at the end of the month. Out of all the sold properties, which was 395 properties, we had 161 properties only last 14 days or less on market. And we had 234 properties last from 15 days to 30 days on market. So we are still seeing properties stay on the market a bit longer than normal. Back when we were in a market where we had multiple offers and a lot of people putting offers on properties, we were seeing that properties were only staying about 7 to 15 days on the market. We are still in a point of time where we are having properties still stay on the market a bit longer. Now, what's interesting is we only had 392 properties have to take their property off the market and relist it or just take it off altogether. Last month, we were over 600. So there are a lot more buyers coming out. You can tell. We can see a lot more people being able to sell their properties. And for price changes, we were at about 50. That is cut in half. And we only have 25 properties that ended up having to change their price because they didn't price it correctly. So we are seeing changes in our market. Now, when we look at new listings, sold listings, and active listings, you can see that we are still at a low number. Now, with new listings, we have picked up from last month. We were at 352 last month, and we are at 634. So that is almost doubled of how many active listings, how many new listings have come on the market this month. When it comes to solds, like I said, we're 100 over, but as well, we have come down on properties that are staying on the market by the end of the month. Last month, we had 765. The month before, we were over 1,000. So they are coming down. Properties are being sold. Buyers are coming back into the market. Now, these numbers have kind of surprised me. The only reason it shocked me was because of this. Literally, in January of 2022, the average price for detached homes were $1.65 million. A year later, that came down to 1.192, and we haven't come down a lot in 2024. We're at 1.157. So there has not been much of a change from 2023 to 2024. Also, if you look at across the board when it comes to what semi-detaches were, we've only come down $10,000 for 1 year. Okay. Which means we've picked up, because if you look at my last video that I made like this gap was a lot bigger. Also, townhouses, freehold townhouses have gone up by $10,000 or $5,000. And then the other two have gone down a little bit. Can you imagine where we were back in 2020, what these prices were? A lot of people are hoping that we get back to 2020 prices, but I really don't see that happening in any way at all. Like, it feels like we are just hitting the bottom of prices, and I don't see it getting less than where we are now, because you guys know, so I don't see us. We all know that the fixed rates have come down, which I think is why buyers are jumping back into the market a bit, because there's thinking that there's going to be a change in the prime rate as well. So people are trying to get back into the market before they see those changes so that they can gain the equity when home prices start to go up, because those buyers that are sitting on the sidelines waiting for the prime rate to come down are all going to jump back in the market when they do so. So these buyers that are jumping in now are trying to catch the low prices at their lowest and then gain the equity as the prices go up when the buyers jump back in the market when the prime rate does come down. Okay, now these are interesting. Okay, you can see that over the months, we have seen an increase in prices for detached homes, but then we have now seen an increase from last month. We were at 154, then 1.153, and we came up to 1.157. I am actually interested to see what happens in February, because I can tell you this number, I really feel, is going to be a bit higher than we've seen so far. Okay, so I really think buyers are starting to jump back into the market. Here too, we had semi-detaches. We were under $900,000 for semi-detaches. That has now come up to 905. We are making a little bit of a shift. Now that we're seeing a little bit of a shift, you want to try to use that to your advantage and try to get in before we see a massive shift. Even with townhouses, I said we had gotten to a higher number from last year. Like, look at this. We have gone up from 827 to 870. The increase is a large increase for townhouses. Because interest rates are so high, people's qualifications aren't as high as detaches or semi-detaches anymore. They are at the townhouse price point. So a lot of those buyers are jumping back into the market. As we can see, the prices have jumped quite a bit. Condo townhouses, they've stayed around the same price because there are maintenance fees in these properties. So I think people are trying to jump into the freehold properties instead of the townhouses that have maintenance fees. So you can see that they haven't jumped up yet. But there is a tiny shift happening in these prices. And then condos, they end up not jumping too much. You can see that they've still gone down. So if you can get yourself in the market and you can start with a condo, this might be the right time, because we were at 562 and we are now at 535. Okay, this is my favorite one. I can't believe that we are now at 22% of properties selling over asking price. If you look from August, September, October, November, December, those have all come down. December, we went up by 1%, but that wasn't much of a difference. But we are going back up. 22%. And I can tell you right now, February is going to have a higher number in properties selling over asking price. A lot of agents are now seeing buyers coming back in the market. I don't know if you know about that property in Mississauga that got 85 offers. The thing about it though is buyers are not throwing a whole bunch of money at properties. They're not selling hundreds and thousands over the market value of the properties. That property that got 85 offers, 85 is a lot, but it sold for only 50,000 over market value. This information is super important because you need to know that it's not a scary time to get into the market. Yes, there are a lot of buyers out there, but you're not fighting high prices. You might be fighting a lot of people, but you're not fighting people that are throwing hundreds and thousands over market value towards properties. But you can see here that properties are selling over asking. And I bet you February, there are going to be a lot of agents that list their properties lower than what the actual market value is to get more buyers into the homes and get more offers on properties. So you have to watch out for that. So if you are thinking about getting into the real estate market, now might be a better time because you will be fighting quite a few buyers. You can't go back in time and go into a market where we aren't going to be fighting a lot of buyers. But at least if you try to get in, you're not writing offers that are hundreds and thousands over market value. Hopefully this video gave you a lot of information of what is happening right now in the Brampton real estate market. We have just seen what happened in January, and I can tell you I can see more of an increase happening in February. So again, if you are thinking about getting into the real estate market, please go ahead and reach out to me. My contact information is right there in the description. I want to try to help you use today's market and this information to your advantage to try to get into the market sooner than later because you want to gain that equity before all those buyers jump into the market. If you like this information, please go ahead and like this video. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And guys, I make a video about the real estate market every month, and I make an info video every single week. So please go ahead, follow along, and we'll see you guys all next week.